Ladies and gents, welcome to Untitled Spoilers Talk. Tonight we're talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. So if you haven't seen it, check us out later, or if you don't care about spoilers, check us out now.
We here, baby. Yo,
I'm glad that they kept that music theme
they
in the
had
second
to.
movie. Like they didn't change it because that was epic.
Well, the chains are off, guys. The chains are off. We can talk
That's
about this in grave detail.
the
And none of this
chains are
fucking
free.
walking on eggshells because no one had seen it. All right, we all seen it. We watched it. You're here. Welcome to Untitled.
Welcome to the K Dynasty, bitch.
Kang gang, Kang gang, Kang gang. Let's get it.
All right, so initially we gave our just kind of a surface level thoughts of the film and how we felt about it, non spoiler at our last show. Here we can kind of go a little more in detail as far as like the things that we did like, the things we didn't like, the things we wish they can improve. This is not gonna be like a step by step of what's happening with the movie. You know how we are. We kind of like we could start from the end to the middle to the front. It doesn't matter. It goes everywhere. So Fresh Prince, seems that you have this movie fresh, and like this, you watched this shit like a couple hours ago, so this is fresh in your mind. How do you feel about this film?
Hold on, let me get my ottoman out. Let me get my pillow ready.
Nah, I'm not.
Hold on,
I'm
hold on,
not
hold
even
on.
gonna do that. We got a whole episode to go in, right? I'm not even gonna do that right now. I'm just gonna answer the question that was posed to me.
You gonna answer the question, and then we're gonna be like, "All right, God bless you, good night."
All right. See y'all later. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, go ahead, bro.
But
I'm playing.
I really shout out to Sean. You know what I'm saying? Because I seen his post yesterday, and it was like, yo, like, what is y'all people talking about? Like, I went to this movie and I enjoyed the hell out of myself.
Who said Sean?
Yeah, Deshaun.
Deshaun. Yeah, I know what you're talking.
Yeah. And then, and then I got on the podcast and you guys, gave your scores and it was 4 and 4.5 and 4.5. So you guys gave me a lot of confidence to go into this movie where I didn't have to worry about what everybody was talking about. You feel me? So I definitely went in fresh. Wasn't thinking about nothing other than what was on the screen and just taking it in. And I, just like the rest of you guys, I enjoyed the hell out of myself. I went with my son and we had fun, man. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to go into, in depth about it because that's what the whole episode is about. But I really, really enjoyed myself. And I don't have any real complaints. Like, once we start talking about it, it might be some things that I might come up and nitpick, maybe. But as of right now, being fresh, I enjoyed myself, and I really don't understand what people are complaining about, honestly. So, other than that, I'll open the floor up to the rest of you guys or to the specific topics we want to hit. But yeah, I enjoyed myself. Definitely at least a 4.5 for me. Wasn't perfect, but a 4.5.
So your review right now is pretty much like a proactive of what would have been said yesterday on our show if you seen it night of. So now we can get into like the actual spoiler part. Um, Me personally, I love the movie. I thought the movie was fine. I didn't see any of the issues that critics were having. I saw a little bit of them, but not so much. Like I went into this movie as just fucking. I'm not, like I said before. We had a conversation a couple episodes ago that I'm not gonna go crazy, not super nitpicky on these films. I'm gonna watch it as is this display, right, and not go too deep into the different lores of shit. Um, but like as I was watching it and left the theater, went home, kind of like thought about them, like, damn, there's a lot of things I wish that were changed or not changed, but like that wasn't like the choices that he made. I was kind of like more boggled about it, right? So like it seems like what Marvel likes to do is they like their villains to play with their food, right? And by saying playing with their food, Kang had these amazing fucking blasters, these one hit quitter shits that was just disintegrating everybody, and it let the audience know how powerful this motherfucker is, right?
Mhm.
But when it came to Ant-Man and Stature, it was just punching them versus disintegrating them. Like it seemed like the power level kind of like
But
got debuffed,
they were in giant mode though.
but still, like there has to be some kind of like,
To disintegrate a limb or two, like what?
yeah, there has to be some kind of limit. Like even the fabric was even fucking ripping. You know what I mean? Like it was almost
Right.
like, all right, cool. It just it picked and chose what it wanted to disintegrate, right? It didn't want to disintegrate the lead cast because there has to be a story, right? So that's what kind of like made me kind of pull back on, you know, not being so afraid of Kang.
But
You know what I mean? Like Kang didn't feel like he was like,
can I play devil's advocate for a second?
yeah, sure.
Maybe the other stuff was getting incinerated because they're of the quantum realm, and the reason why Cass and the rest of them didn't get disintegrated because they're like from Earth, but they're from like the Earth where we are from. So maybe like the species down there that Kang blasters was just tearing up. I think maybe because they're weaker to the blast, they got torn up so easy. Whereas Ant-Man and them, they get hit by the blast, they didn't die. You know what I mean, or something like that.
I mean that'd be a cool theory if that was explained, but I don't think so.
I wonder,
Um,
can I also add to Red being a little fresh, and also again, I only watched it one time. I just got out of it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we all
But
watch
I'm
it
gonna
one
be
time.
honest. I don't remember him actually blasting them. To be honest, like there was a lot of like gunfire and lasers or whatever coming from the Citadel. I don't remember Kang personally like blasting them. I remember them getting into giant mode and them rushing like the city, or Ant Man was rushing the city, the Citadel, and they were shooting him when he told them to like make sure he doesn't get in or make sure he doesn't touch the rings, and they were shooting at him. I don't remember Kang having a one-on-one and blasting him. If that's a
okay, so
problem, I understand what you're saying, that he didn't try to blast him. But other than that, I don't remember him hitting them with anything like
Shit,
full
bro.
force and
Damn.
it not affecting them.
so
My
so if I
bad.
was so if I was a devil's advocate in this situation, right?
Hmm.
If he didn't blast them, why
It's like,
not
why
blast
didn't
them?
you? Right, right. I
Yeah, yeah,
understand
yeah.
that. Why didn't you? But that's
Yeah,
the only thing I'm saying to cover it is that
yeah,
he
yeah,
never did that. Yeah.
yeah. And I feel like it kind of like with Loki and having that version of Kang, right? Not really known as Kang, but him dying and this one dying. Well, I don't think he's dead, right?
He's not dead.
He's not dead. He's like
He's not.
he's gonna end up being more OP than anything because he's gonna
Yeah,
probably end
exactly.
up being the Beyond or whatever. Because now
Yeah.
he's like subatomic, whatever.
Yeah.
Who knows what the hell he's gonna be curating in this new world? But besides that, like it almost kind of like undermines every version of himself. Like it's it doesn't seem like we all know that he's a threat, right? But he doesn't feel for me like, oh man, like this is like something happening. It just he felt like his mind you, I'm not gonna say the fucking writing was subpar, right? There was some shit that really didn't make any sense in how the delivery was done, but he made whatever bullshit that was on that script amazing, right? You could feed him any kind of script and he's gonna fucking give you everything.
He's gonna eat that
He's
shit
gonna
up.
eat that shit. So that's why Jonathan Majors is immune to like bad scripts and how he delivers bad script, right? So he is by far amazing. I want to see more of him, and we're gonna get that, obviously, because it seems like he's the same face in every iteration of Kang versus like some of them
Yeah.
that look like more
Right.
like mutants and shit. But yeah,
I saw one of them though. I saw one of those like a scroll or something.
That
They
was
were
an
weird.
Easter. That was an Easter egg.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was like that
Yeah.
comic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That was like one ugly one that was in the comic, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
And it
Yeah,
was
that
cool.
was Easter egg from the comic book when they had the
Yeah,
Council of Kings and
Yeah.
so the whole thing, even like to the woo, that chair, the shit is the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
my
Yeah. I sent Fresh those the other day. Yeah. That's where they pulled it from.
and I was talking to Fresh Prince not too long ago, and I'm like, hey, listen, I wish, right? It would have been dope, right? If you would have like cast other actors to play Kang, right? So you have Jonathan Majors playing as one Kang. Then you have someone else, right? Like you have these A-list celebrities playing Kang, and it's almost like who plays the best Kang. And like you can have them all in the same room because sometimes you could tell when something is doubled, right?
Hmm.
Like they really haven't. I think the only movie that I've seen that was like it perfected that that double shit was like the Nutty Professor, right? The clumps, right? There was a scene where the camera was one shot and you saw every single character, and it was all played by Eddie Murphy, right? And you have Back to the Future did it well, but like certain other movies, like even the Flash, the certain Flash scenes, you could tell like that
The
they're not in the
one,
same.
y'all ever seen the one with Jet Li?
Yeah.
That was pretty
Yeah.
good. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. But like you could tell. But that was like, mind you, that's a small little thing. That doesn't,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? I just wish it would have gave like other opportunities to other actors, so we don't feel like you see one actor and be like, ah, you know what, he died in the last movie. Like I'm as a casual watcher, like, oh, he died in the last movie. He's not a threat. Oh, he died in that show. He's not a threat. But if you give someone else an opportunity to keep like elevating and then come back to the Beyonder, which will be Jonathan Majors, because I'm not sure. I know that Ramatat was one of them. Then you had um, I don't know if he was like Prime,
No,
fucking,
it was a more. I think I'm
One was
thinking
Immortus.
it was Immortus and Baby Kang. I think they tried to make the other one a version of Baby Kang, which is something we could talk about on another episode. But yeah, those were the main three.
was this, there was I did watch somebody else and they were saying that the blue one, the ball headed one, was like a different version, but not a different color version of the sentient Kang, some shit like that.
Of yeah, the Scarlet Centurion.
Scarlet Centurion, the red one, right? They say,
Yeah.
well, they just kind of like flipped it, but
Oh,
No,
that's why I
no,
assumed it
Scarlet
was Baby
Centurion was
King
there.
because he wasn't red. Yeah.
Scarlet Centurion was there. He was there when they showed the Kangs popping up. He was in the red suit. He was the one
They
Kang
had
in
a
the red suit.
where I gotta go back. I recorded it, so I'm gonna go back and look at it.
yeah, there's a whole bunch in there. Then there's a whole bunch that's using the same technology that Reed Richards was using,
Yeah.
well, the Doctor Doom. Isn't that like a Doctor Doom tech? Like that's his
Yeah, it's Doom Tech. Yeah.
platform, right?
Yeah, it's Doom Tech.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty much like all my gripe was that. I also feel like they kind of shitted on the girl that got cast in Endgame.
Yeah.
Like they recast her and they didn't even tell her that she lost the role. She found out when we all found out that she was
Oh,
being
word.
replaced.
I didn't even
Yeah,
know
Did
that.
she really?
yeah, she
That's crazy.
put it on Facebook. She's like, oh, I
Crazy.
guess I'm not in this movie because I just found out when you
Wow.
guys found out. I'm like,
Wow.
damn, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
that's shitty. That was a shitty move, Disney.
yeah.
That I ain't gonna lie. That's a
I mean, she
shitty
was
move.
good in Detective Pikachu, right? Like, I didn't mind her in there, but
I didn't even know she was in that.
yeah, she was like the only chick, and well, the second lead, the co-star.
But I didn't even have no problem with her in like what was it, Endgame when she showed up. Like I felt like she was believable. With the minute or two that she was in it. I don't know.
Now
I
she was
guess
not
they
in
want,
Endgame.
huh?
She was not in Endgame.
You
You talking about
What do you
talking
mean?
about the first daughter.
Oh, you talking about the first of
Yeah, the first one.
second
Yeah,
first? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying I didn't have a problem with her in the first one. I don't know why they would have recasted her other than just having.
And they look like they had the connection. And people also were saying like, you know, they could have just kept the original girl because she kind of like aged up and she kind of
Yeah.
looked really like grown now. I'm like, oh shit, you could have just like made her look a little older, fed her lines that an adult would say, or grown like a, you know.
You talking about the
I mean,
baby, the
yeah,
little girl?
she's 15, but they could have like aged
Oh,
up to 18, right? And then by the
yeah,
time we see her
yeah.
again, right, for like West Coast Avengers, she'd be of age, and it's the same
Yeah,
actress.
that's crazy. Yeah, they
And I'm
should
like,
have
yeah,
did
they could
that.
have just kept
Why
that.
wouldn't
But
you
like,
do that?
I don't know if you see like pictures of her now, she looks like a fucking young adult. Like, damn, they could have just really kept her. But I guess when they decided to do this film, maybe she just was too young. You know what I mean? Like she's still
Yeah.
14.
Well,
Like,
yeah, because it was like, they probably did it like well, not probably, but they filmed this like 3 years ago. If that's the case, then yeah, she probably would have been too young.
but that's pretty much my gripe. Like, the story was like was good. I felt like there's gonna be like bigger and better things happening. But depend like I mean, going based on what they're saying online and shit about the movie's like the worst one or that. I'm like, I can't agree to that because I'm like, Yeah, I had problems, but the shit was not that bad. I had a good time.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
definitely. Oh,
What was that again? Thinking?
I was like, that, no, this is like definitely. I just had a, I enjoyed the movie. Yeah, my guy, the little red guy, just
Man,
wheeling
Zach.
about, running around and shit. It's like, it's like I got holes. That was my guy.
That was definitely like a callback to like Polka Dot Man, right? He's like, I'm a superhero, and then he dies.
It's Death Motion. It's the
Yeah, the
same
same guy. Yeah,
dude.
yeah. I'm just saying, but it's almost the same
Yeah.
as that. That's why I brought that character
Yeah,
up.
that was cool. That was cool, man.
Yeah, that was my guy right there.
So like, all right. So with Red and Fresh, whoever wants to go first, right? So like,
Red.
let's start with the negatives, right? If you was have to pick a negative or something that needs to, that wish was like changed or different routes they went, like what would you change? Like, you didn't have any issues?
I honestly don't find anything wrong that I feel like needs to be changed for the movie.
Okay.
To be honest, like it started off with the cool though, the whole "Welcome Back, Carter." I like that little shit. I was singing the song with it.
Word.
Welcome
Word,
back.
me too.
I was singing it. So I was like, it brought me back to watching "Welcome Back, Carter." So I was like,
Word.
I was enjoying that, like how people were mixing them up with Spider-Man and shit. So it was good. I was enjoying that little thing. The father, him like trying to be a father to his daughter after like losing so many years with her. Like I was digging that story too, and then finding out he still don't know nothing about her. Like everybody else know more about her than he does, because Hank Pym built her a suit, and like and it was they building like tech and stuff together, and like I find it very heartwarming too that she's called him Grandpa Hank or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, and I was like, oh, that's so sweet. She accepted the Pims as her grandparents. Yes, I like the aspect, little family aspect, and it shows that he's struggling to like keep up with his daughter, but also he's struggling to like find himself again as a hero, because I think he kind of lost his way after Endgame. Like you can see, he's like all about the kind of started to become all about the fame aspect of being a hero rather than the hero stuff, which is you see later on when they go into the quantum realm and and then come to ask him like, oh, we need help with Kang, and he's like, this ain't our fight, you know what I'm saying? And the daughter become disappointed in him and shit like that, like bro, like what happened to you? So I feel like there was a really good storytelling of Ant-Man trying to find his way back into being like the hero that he's meant to be, and also Cassie finding her purpose, Hope finding out what happened to her mother all these years in the quantum realm that she the mother been keeping hidden from us. So like there was so many different stories going on in this one movie. Like it was like crazy. Like everybody had a different purpose in the quantum realm. And then even when we get down to Kang, like Kang's purpose, I gotta say, man, I think Kang became one of my favorite villains, like in the MCU. Like I gotta say, bro, like I don't have many favorite villains in the MCU. Like Kang, Killmonger, Loki, and Thanos. So those are like the top four villains in the
That's a
MCU.
Mount Rushmore right there, yo.
But like the way he's like so methodical, like he just like he starts off trying to be nice, and then like within 2 seconds he's just like, you know what, I'm done being nice. Like he just starts with the threats and the telekinesis. He knew right exactly what to go for, and it's like, yo, I'm getting my way either way. Like either way, I'm gonna get my way. And I'm like, yeah, just take control. Like that's all I want from a fucking villain, man. Just take control.
Right.
Like he got what he wanted, and within 2 seconds of just threatening his daughter, like he said, "Oh, you don't think I would do it?" He said, "Oh, you don't think I would do it?" Then he started turning her head sideways, like he was about to ram her head into that freaking wall. Like, yo, bro, I'm gonna crack your daughter's head into this wall if you don't get my shit that I want. And it's like, bro, And he's like, "Oh, I do it." I said, "Yeah, I thought so, bitch." Like, I dropped his daughter down, and then they kept that shit moving. And then even when he got what he wanted, he still didn't give him his daughter. He's like, "Man, fuck you."
Yeah.
He's like, "Yo," he said, "What's my daughter?" Man, fuck you. I ain't do shit. And I kind of like that too because this displayed why he lost in the end because his hubris was so high that he was underestimating people, and that's what ended up making him lose. Which I think after this, when he comes back and like probably in the Avengers, I'm thinking he's gonna come back in Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. That's my prediction of when he's gonna pop back up, and he's gonna be way more dangerous because he's gonna learn from his mistakes with Ant-Man, and he's gonna like, I think he's really gonna fuck shit up before things get better, bro.
Unless he knew that he was gonna be in that situation. He did say he knows how it ends.
Exactly.
So maybe him being put in a position was what he wanted.
Yep.
He wanted him to spend more.
I honestly don't think. I don't think he knew. With this, you could kind of tell in this situation. I don't think
super cocky.
He didn't know. He was letting his pride and all this shit take over. Like even with Ant-Man, like he knew who Ant-Man was the whole time, but he wanted to play it off like, oh, I don't know who you are. You're an Avenger.
Yeah.
Like, and then how do you break somebody's spirit after he just told you I'm an Avenger? You use the most powerful Avenger you know to mistake him as, or you don't want the hammer. So after he's like, damn. So then he's like, damn. You telling me he beat up Thor? Like, oh, I ain't got no chance. You're breaking his spirit. He literally broke his spirit down before
he killed Thor, nigga.
Yo, he broke his spirit down before with words. Yo, just saying, oh, you don't want the hammer. I've killed you before. Like, bro, like it's crazy, man. Like the psychological warfare that he plays too with it's really, man, masterful, man. I love this movie.
I mean, is it really psychological warfare, or if it's like fact?
In the beginning, it was.
Like in the beginning, it was, but I mean, given that he was destroying entire timelines, he did technically destroy all the Avengers.
Exactly.
So like he destroyed all these Avengers, but he couldn't get rid of Ant-Man and fucking the Wasp.
The Quantumania is different, and not to mention he wasn't at full power. You know,
he's definitely not at full power.
Right.
So,
I mean, wait. So he wasn't at full power when he killed Thor?
No. He wasn't at full power in the quantum realm.
He's not at full power in the quantum realm. That's why he's so urgent to get out. He wants to get back to full power.
And I appreciate the fact that he actually tried to make it to the portal. Like he snuffed him real quick, and then he made a hot beeline for the portal. I appreciate that aspect of it. That's a little aspect, but that's something that bothers me a lot of times. Like we talking about with hubris and villains and shit like that. It's like, oh, they think they too good to lose. Like he did, but at the same time, he was still pressed to get out of there regardless. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciated that.
But then he got see, the hubris kicked in because when he couldn't get out of there, he's like, yo, who the hell is this little guy that's like fucking distracted me from getting... He got distracted and he just started wailing on the punishment on Ant-Man. He's like, started beating him up. And he got so to the fact that he didn't see Hope come in through the portal and like started blasting him away. Like he got distracted, man. His pride got the better of him. He had to beat down. Walk out the portal, bro.
Yep.
He was over there on the floor later.
And that's the thing. I'm not mad at that because that might be something that people look at. It's like in the beginning of the movie, you see this dude just like that. That's what I appreciate him as a villain. Like from the gate, I was preaching that through the whole movie. This dude is a OG. He's a gangster as a villain. Like this dude is just sitting there monologuing and like, all right, yeah, like Red was talking about, like, yeah, just simple flicks of the wrists and the fingers, like just dominating these people. And I understand, like, Fresh might be looking at it like, yeah, you could do things like that, and then you let these little people that are insignificant beat you. But I feel like that's what is the masterful writing of this scenario, is that's what it came down to at the end. Like Red said, it's like you could have literally just tossed him to the side and walked through the portal, like literally with no problem. But at the end of the day, they got him so vexed that he wanted to inflict punishment and show him like, bro, this is, I am who I am. I'm Kang. You cannot defeat me, bro. And him trying to do that and inflict all of that extra, like, it's like Feora. I was talking to my son last night watching Superman. It's like Feora. Like, she was just messing with my dude the whole movie when she could have finished him off a couple of times. And because she didn't, that's the reason why she ended, because he was the one that allowed them to fly the plane into the shit, and she was dead. So it's those points when people feel that they are just too powerful, and it's like, yo, who are you talking to? I feel like I have to express the fact that you are on a senseless mission. Stop it. Give it up. It's done. But that aspect of it is what causes him to lose in the end. So I appreciated it. It wasn't done. At the end of the day, I feel like it was done well. It was shot well. It was written well. So because there wasn't any missteps in those aspects for me, I accept that as that's the reason why he lost. It wasn't like, oh, he lost to Ant-Man. We all know he was gonna lose. We all knew it. I think it was done well.
The crazy thing is that I can't even, like, even though like watching the movie, I couldn't even say that Ant-Man beat him. Ant-Man just survived him.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
He survived him. He didn't beat him. Like, bro,
No, he did beat him. It's goddamn ants.
Yo,
that shit was, yo, them ants came.
I even like that. I even like that. That was wild, but I like that too.
they're very lucky the ants fell into the time warp of the quantum realm.
Yeah.
So they were like years ahead of them.
They were lucky that smart ants that were already building their own tech in the real world fell into the quantum realm. Time worked differently in the
live
quantum
like
realm.
100. They live like
They
100,000.
fell into the time stream.
Yeah, they fell on like they lived like 1,000 lifetimes or some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So they had like a super advanced civilization.
Yeah,
Speaking mecha ants and shit.
Yo,
Like,
they even made my man Hank relevant again. Nah, this movie was tight, man.
my man just came walking in through the ants like, sorry, I'm late. Ants saved their asses, boy. They were dead. It was
almost like it seemed like whoever wrote Jonathan Majors, like all his lines were not the same person that wrote everyone else. Because it was like fucking like first grade humor with a lot of shit. Like, yo, Hank Pym kept saying, I like ants. I like, yo, he said that shit like 8 times. I'm like, bro, like, that's it.
Yeah.
I like ants. I'm like, yo, what happened? What happened? And then when all the ants came in, I'm like, he's gonna come and do like the fucking like, oh man, like it was like I saw what happened. I'm like, oh fuck.
I ain't gonna hold you though. I was laughing when the Bill Murray scene when he was trying to get that what happened. He said, oh, so me and my brother, yeah, how well do you know each other?
I'm sure Kang smashed too.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think Kang smashed too. They worked together for like 20-something years.
Bro, that dude is smooth, bro. Come on. You telling me Bill Murray hit and Kang ain't hit, bro? You telling me Nat ain't hit that? Come on, Kyle.
Well, I mean, you know what? You're probably right, because he did want to kill her right away. He wanted to take her with him.
He's like, come with me. I'll take you right. You won't lose any time. I'm like, shit.
They didn't talk about any of this in the movie, but for anybody that reads the comics, I felt like they put Janet in that Celestial Madonna position, right? Like they didn't have Renslayer in this, so I feel like they kind of put her in that position. So I kind of agree. Like I'm not gonna go as far as to say he smashed, but it showed that he had some type of feelings towards Janet, whether it be like respect towards her intellect or whatever the case may be. Like there was a reason why he let her live. Like she wasn't just a pawn.
But we also don't know exactly everything in his life, right? We just know about him being exiled. But they may have been a child. They may have been someone he loved, like Renslayer. Maybe him coming back to her.
I'm thinking that's the situation.
We don't know what's going on other than the fucking people that exiled him. You know what I mean? And even at the post-credit scene, like when he says, "Oh, he's dead," they may not even be talking about him. They may be talking about the one that died in Loki.
Right.
They may not even be talking about King the Conqueror.
Right. I think they are, but
I
that's a
think they
good
said the
call
one that
though.
we banished.
Yeah,
They
they
did
did
say
say the
that.
banished one. Yeah.
They said the one that we banished. Yeah.
Yeah, they did because he was talking to if Fresh says that's a Scarlet Centurion. He was Ramatut did ask him like, yo, you mad that you weren't the one that killed him? And then that's when the Mortis was like, yeah, well, none of us did. Like they're starting to touch what we have built, so now we gotta like start to destroy them now. So like I'm digging.
I ain't gonna hold you. When they said that shit, I said, yo, this is exactly what they said in fucking Avengers 1. This is exactly how they ended Avengers 1 when they introduced Thanos and he's like, oh, to face them is to court death. And then Thanos turned and smiled. I said, this is like, yo, this is the same shit. This is the same little thing. Like,
it's a remix. It is.
Did you mind his voice, like Mortis's voice?
No,
a little bit.
I feel like I didn't mind. I feel like he's trying to give different characters to each character.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what he chose. He wants to have a little scratchy voice.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't mind his more than really the one that messed with me was the Baby King or Scarlet Centurion, whoever that one was supposed to be. That one kind of threw me off. That's why I'm thinking he's supposed to be Baby King, because that was just so random of a portrayal.
Yeah, it'll be hard for Jonathan Majors to kind of like work on his acting ability with that having used that voice, right? Like,
yeah,
it seemed like it was like an SNL skit a little bit.
Yeah,
but like maybe they'll change it. It'll change, and because Ramatut was fine, that was perfect.
Yeah. I like Ramatut. I like the Mortis too. I mean, he's ancient, bro. So it's like it caught me off guard, but it didn't bother me. He's an ancient dude, so he's gonna be giving that type of portrayal, like some ancient type of Buddhist monk or deity or something like that. So I didn't mind that, but yeah, it was the other one that really threw me out. That's why I thought it was kind of goofy. That's why I said the goofy thing.
How do you guys feel about the what you call it, the Victor Timely review?
I loved it.
It's like, oh man, maybe this is the person that's like, I mean, he starts everything right, like from like the 616 era.
That's what I was thinking, and he gave me that Frederick Douglass vibe with the whole shit. I loved it, man. I'm not even mad.
The machine that was behind was the power core for Kang's shit too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh shit, maybe this guy fucking inspired the people like, you know, Howard Stark and all them people. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And what if like that building that was bought, right, is Kang Industries, right? Maybe that's that. Maybe we'll get a version.
They already have a connection. He is the one that inspired Howard Stark, because if I'm not mistaken, Timely is the one that inspired the first Human Torch, and in in the Stark Expo, they had the first Human Torch suit on display in one of the Stark Expos. So they already have a connection. So already Kang already has a connection to the past of the Marvel movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, so maybe we'll get like a very like a introduction to maybe his descendant, and now like whatever's happening, or maybe when Scott came back, right? Maybe he was taken to a different timeline, right?
That's
a timeline that they want him to see what he really wants to see. Like he saw all these Ant-Man things. I'm like, oh damn, like it's more catered to him. It's like the algorithm is all for him. And he's like, no, this doesn't seem right. Like this.
Oh yeah, Ant-Man, right?
That is good. It may be an illusion. It may be some, like a pocket reality.
And to go with that, I think in the future we're gonna see like when they reveal who bought Stark Tower. I think it's gonna be like how we seen. I don't know if anybody noticed, like the Avengers Tower, huh?
It's gonna be the Quang Enterprises.
Yeah.
The Loki series,
yeah. That so I think that's gonna be the reality, like you said. Whatever pocket, I don't think it's a pocket reality. I think it's a new timeline. So I think that's going to be what's going to go on in the future timeline. Is going to be that Kang is going to be the one that's in that bought Stark Industries. He's going to be the one influencing all types of shit that's moving forward.
So he's probably
As far as
we have to
industrial
wait.
and technological.
We have to wait for like to show what happens in Loki season 2 because that's going to explain even more what's going on with the timelines and stuff like that.
I'm
Monday,
assuming.
Monday is supposed to be the trailer for Loki season 2.
I mean, so I think that
Monday or next Monday.
This Monday coming, they're supposed to release a trailer for Loki season 2.
That's what's up.
this might be the 616 version of Harry Osborn. Like we're not gonna get the Osborns, right? We're not gonna get, so we're gonna get that version of that family. Not the family, but that
Kang, right? Yeah,
that kind of money. You know what I mean? Like the richest guy in New York is gonna be John the Majors, right?
Now this is tight, man. This is tight. I don't know how people are mad at this. Like, what are you mad about? I don't understand.
They gotta use their brain.
This is tight, man. This movie was dope.
People tend to get mad when they gotta use their brain. Like, remember Matrix 2? How it ended, the dude was using big words. And this movie sucked, man. You had to go this dog speech. Guys, you know, these big words and stuff, man.
I mean, listen, that's true a little bit, but if you're going based on like casual watchers, like if you never watched any of this shit and you went to this theater and you went to see this movie, you probably be confused. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you get some of the gist, right? But like, you're not gonna know everything, right? So I guess these critics, if they're not really in tune with these shows and what's happening in Marvel, the cinematic universe, they're gonna shit on the movie because they don't know what happened. They don't see the bigger picture.
And I've been saying this forever with Feige talking about, we got shows on Disney Plus and you don't have to watch everything. Come on, bro. You got to keep up. And that's my thing. It's like for people that go to watch Marvel movies and when they give them bad reviews because you don't understand shit, that's on you. That's not on the people that are making the movies. Like, keep up with the storylines. Keep up with what's going on. This is comics brought into the new age era. Everything is connected. So, like, if you buy, like, a one-off series and then a major series happens later on, a major connective series, and you don't understand all the other storylines that are coming in to connect, that's not everybody else's fault. That's not bad writing. That's the fact that you didn't get all the other tie-in comics to understand what's going on with this overall joint. So, again, it's the same thing. People need to hurry up and get on board. DC is about to start doing the same thing. Get on board. Start watching everything that's going on with these things, or if not, just leave it alone. Don't try to jump in the middle of a series and say, "Oh, this doesn't make sense." That's on you. That's not on the creator.
I agree because I had
that's like reading the end of the book.
Yeah.
I had a coworker who was like saying, "Oh, I didn't see how's King Quantumania?" I said it was pretty good, man. I said you should check it out. He said, "Yeah, I think I'll check it out." He said, but then he admitted to me that he didn't even watch Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I said, "Wait, you didn't watch Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness yet? Did you watch Loki?" He said, "No, I didn't watch it." You didn't watch Loki? I said, "Bro, nah, you gotta watch it." I said, "Don't even watch you can't watch that, man. You're not gonna be lost, bro. You're not gonna know what's going on."
You kind of like you kind of gotta walk into these movies like you gotta do homework, right?
Yeah.
Which, like, I'm for because I'm already in it, right? I don't have to do makeup homework because I've been doing it. But for someone that hasn't, it could be a tall order for some people. Like, damn, I gotta watch all this shit to do all this. Like, movie going experience is kind of like go and try to like lose yourself in these stories. But like, if you have to watch 20 to 30 fucking movies to get to that point, I could get why someone could be like, oh, man, I ain't gonna do all that shit. Like, I could skip a movie or two, but that one movie you skip could be very pivotal to the next storyline. You know what I mean? So
what's crazy?
Yeah, I mean, they could just catch some snippets. Catch some.
Do
People doing YouTube videos all the time. I'm like, hey, everything you need to know before you watch.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. What's crazy is you also need to watch Loki to even understand what's going on right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Loki is a very big part of what's going on. He's the reason why everything is going crazy what it is right now. It's him. It's his fault.
It's crazy though, because I still feel like I'm thinking about it now as everybody's talking. I'm like, I feel like a random viewer could go in, watch this movie, and be satisfied with the product that was given. But if you want to understand what's going on in the overall Marvel universe, then yeah, you can't just jump in at this point and expect to understand everything. It's not going to happen. But I also don't think that this movie depends on previous viewings for it to be good. I still feel like you could go into this not understanding anything, and just from the dialogue and everything that they were explaining, like from the beginning, they showed Kang coming to the quantum realm. Janet was already there. All right. They basically summarized everything for you. If you didn't watch Ant-Man 2, if you didn't understand Loki, they basically gave you the preface for everything when they started this movie. Which is also why I'm like, nah, this movie is good. They didn't leave nobody hanging. They introduced you from the beginning. They let you know what's going on. And they filled in some blanks. Now, if you want a better experience, yes, you should watch everything else. But I'm also not saying that you need to depend on the rest of the Marvel Universe for this movie to be good. I still think this movie is good on its own.
You know what's crazy? I was thinking about Kang in the movie. He started saying the same stuff that He Who Remains was saying in Loki, like,
Yep.
"Oh, you know, you need me because my other versions come here. It's not gonna be good and all that stuff, and I have to stop them. My other versions." It's like he's saying the same thing that He Who Remains. So now it's like it leaves you as the viewer, like, who's telling the fucking truth now? Like, who's really the bad one? Who's really the good ones? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, cause he's saying the same thing that He Who Remains is saying. He's was supposed to be a good Kang. But he's over here saying, like, "Oh, nah, the rest of them are dangerous." It's like, you know, I was defending myself. I have to defend my timeline, my universe, my all against my other beings. So it's crazy now. Now you're questioning, like, Dad, can you even trust any of these Kangs? Like,
Yeah, bro.
like,
Yeah, they running around like children, right? They were all running around like children, just worried about their own shit. I feel like every single Kang, well, every individual Kang that we meet as a villain, I think is gonna have their own individual like focus. Like He Who Remains, I feel like was like, okay, everybody's wilding. I gotta make sure I shut everybody else out so I can keep everything flowing where shit is not chaotic. I feel like even though they didn't go into it, I think this Kang had a relationship with Renslayer. Because if we start talking about access out of the movie, right? I heard Jonathan Majors talking about the movie, and he was talking about what his big take out of playing Kang in this movie was the way that time affects people and the relationships to their loved ones. And that quote is interesting to me because we can see that with everybody a part of the Pym and Hank family, but with Kang we don't get any of that, right? He doesn't talk about any of that. So for us that know the comics, we know he has a relationship with Renslayer, but besides that, we didn't get any of that in this movie other than the fact that I need to get out for a reason and everybody else is on some childish shit and they fucking everything up. So I feel like there's something there, a connection with Renslayer that they haven't explained in this movie that almost connects in a way of a la like The Last of Us, where love is very destructive. I feel like that's gonna have a role to play in this storyline by the time we get to the end of it, but we just haven't really delved into that aspect of it yet.
It's funny how they fucking remove his name from the movie as well. Because Michelle Pfeiffer, she said, "Yeah, you know, Nathaniel,
Nathaniel,
whatever."
right?
And throughout the whole movie, they didn't say his name.
Right.
And so when she found out the motives, she was like, "What's a Kang?" So you telling me you've been working with him 20 years, you don't know his name?
Yep.
Like they kind of like left that out, and I guess that's probably that was for a reason to leave the name out. Because now they can kind of like, if they want to pivot to someone else being Nathaniel, then they could do that. And he's not 100% like that's Nathaniel, because if that's Nathaniel, that means that's the very original Kang that started everything.
Yep.
And he did a Steve Jobs where he created Macintosh, right?
Yep.
He got pushed out of his company, and he was like,
Yep.
"Fuck y'all, I'm gonna make my own shit and kill y'all." You know what I mean? So that's pretty
That's
much what it
crazy.
is.
I think that's exactly what it is. And that's funny that you say that because now that you're saying that, I feel like that's probably exactly why they did that. They're gonna string this shit along until we find out what the real story is, and I feel like it's going to be something exactly like what you're talking about right now, mixed with what I'm talking about as far as Renslayer and the love and all of that. It's going to be something like that, and they're like, yo, bro, fuck these bitches type shit, and like, you wildin', and we going to go and do this, and you still stuck on this chick over here, bro. Like, I think it's going to end up something crazy like that.
It's probably they probably took, maybe he had a situation, right, and they probably took his girl, right. They probably killed her or did some shit where it caused him to like wild out, and they're like, oh, he
Yeah,
got to get out of here. He got to get out of here
yeah,
because he maybe this Council Kangs were like a Jedi Order where they couldn't
yeah.
have a love interest, and he
Right,
fell in
right,
love with
right.
someone. You know what I mean?
Because
Kind of
yeah,
fuck the
because
rules.
yo, you know what? That's a good pull right there. Because have you read King comics in the past?
No.
Okay, so that's a good pull, bro. Because the reason I keep talking about this Renslayer shit is that's really the main thing for King. Is that yeah, he's a conqueror and he's worrying about trying to conquer time, but it all boils down to the fact that it's the boy meets girl and I can't have her type shit. And it's like, why the fuck can't I have her? Because they're on the same page and they're fighting for the same things. So it's like, yo, so what you saying right now is like the order is like, it doesn't work if we trying to deal with this chick. We can't do that. It's not going to work that way. So we got to do it this way. And he's the one that's like, no, this is the love of my life. We got to do it together and this and that. And they're like, nah, bro. So what you saying right now is a great pull. It's connecting exactly what I'm trying to say and connecting both of our points right now. I think
Yeah.
that's really what the overall story is going to be.
I just really want a villain, right? If they live by a name, I want to see it. I don't want to see Kang the off-screen conqueror
Yeah,
or
yeah.
or God the off-screen butcher, right? You know what I mean? Show me him killing guys, right? Show me. I guess we saw a little bit him kind of like blowing up timelines and
Yeah, I
saying,
was gonna say
"Okay,
they did that a little bit too, but
yeah,
yeah, I'm with you. I
yeah."
want to see this shit,
I
bro.
wanted, I wanted. So when he noticed that his minions weren't doing no work, he was like, "You know what? I'm gonna do this shit," and that's when I got
Yeah,
excited. He's like, "I'm gonna
yeah,
do it myself," and he was I'm like, "Yo, he is fucking killing everybody, bro. This is crazy." That's what I wanted to see.
yeah.
But yeah, man. Other than that, man,
I'm still holding out hope. I'm hoping we get that in Kang Dynasty. I'm not mad and being like, yo, they nerfed him. I'm hoping we get that in Kang Dynasty when they actually show their backstories and show what they've been through to get to the point that we're at right now.
right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm excited. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna give him the, you know what I mean, the automatic, championship of villain. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do that. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna like. That's how like
I'm waiting.
this new
I'm wait.
generation kind of does
I'm
that.
waiting to give it to him though. I'm
Yeah,
waiting to give it to him.
I'm waiting because I want it to happen. You know what I mean? Like you guys know, like Thanos is like my favorite villain, but like he can take it, and I'm waiting. I need to see it. You know what I mean? But before I go ahead and give him this championship ring, you know what I mean? But yeah, he has definitely has he has the potential
Yep.
to fuck shit up, and that's what I want to see. Yeah, man. I mean, I had a good time, man. I had a good time. I want to see it again when it drops on Disney Plus. I'll catch it again. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go to the theaters to see it again, but like, how'd you feel about Kang? I mean, not Kang. Modoc.
I dug it, bro. I dug it. I'm not mad at all. Like I went into it and all I saw was the visual from the trailer, right? As far as like, battle mask off and all of that. I feel like all right, it might not be perfect, but it was way better than what I seen in the trailer for that point whatever seconds. So to me, I'm like, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I'm not mad. I'm mad that they killed him because I feel like Kang could. I mean, I'm sorry, Modoc could have been a good character if they would have like really started to flesh him out a little bit more. But just from this one movie and the connection that he has with the Pims and the Ant-Man franchise, I watched the first one earlier with my son before we went to watch this. So just getting all of that background, other than just going into it and seeing the flashbacks in the movie, but actually watching the first one, I'm like, nah, I'm good, because to me, it is what it is. He was a dude that was looking for a father figure. He wanted acceptance. He wanted Hank to give him that approval, like, yo, that a boy, you know what I'm saying? And he never got it. So I dug it. It was a little weird with the but at least I need to go out as an Avenger. But to me, that was just a
That
joke.
was
It
so
was
funny.
funny, and it was like, yo, everybody
They,
was like,
look,
everybody gave the reactions we gave, bro.
his
You're not an
lines,
Avenger. What are you talking about?
his lines were very like he executed his lines. He
Yeah.
executed his delivery because even with the whole like he was like Darren, Darren, do you hear me? He goes, Modoc, you hear me? He goes, yeah. Like it was a single word, yeah.
No, that shit was funny, bro. That was funny. I wasn't mad. I laughed. I laughed at all of those. I laughed. It was good to me. I was good.
Nah, it was good. It was a good time, man. It was definitely a good time. My score still stays the same. I felt like having this conversation, the score probably changed because now we have like more of kind of like a we can really get into detail. Nah, my score is pretty much the same. It hasn't changed. It didn't drop. So I still feel good about my score. How about you guys?
My score here still stays the same. I haven't changed it.
Real quick, William Jackson Harper, because we didn't talk about him through this whole review. I feel like I was satisfied. I was happy with his performance. Like, if he was, to me, right, if I was a random audience member, and if it was like his performance in the movie, I was satisfied. I was happy. I think he gave a great performance. But again, pulling out as a regular performance audience member and being myself, I'm upset because I really wanted him to either be Quasar, but before all of that, I really thought he might be Iron Lad, or like a younger or another variant version of Tang, or even Reed Richards. So for all of those picks, I'm kind of upset because I feel like to bring him into Marvel and not give him a more pronounced character, I'm upset. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not upset with what he did in the movie, but I'm upset with the fact that I'm not gonna get him anymore, and I feel like he was wasted as an actor and as an individual. You could have gave him another role or another character where he could have stuck around as a more prominent member of the MCU, and for that fact, I'm upset. But besides that, movie wise and everything else, I'm very happy with the performance that he gave and the character that he was in the movie.
What was his character?
Quick,
Uh,
telepath.
he was the Quaz dude, the telepath,
Oh,
black
Justin
dude.
Lines. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like his character. He's pretty funny. Wait, stop thinking that. No, seriously, stop thinking that.
Like I enjoyed him. I enjoyed him, but I thought he could have been somebody else of prominence in the universe, though. But
Nah, you gotta talk about Modoc.
We did.
yeah. I talked about Modoc. You could talk about him real quick.
But nah, I just want to put the Modoc death scene when he when he's like, I wasn't a dick, and at least I got to die in Avenger. And he's like, yeah. That was my joke. That like everybody's Avenger after Endgame, you know.
That's what I'm saying. As a scene, I thought it was funny and I thought that was cool. But again, going to what you said, I feel like they wasted him. They wasted Modoc, and we could have kept them around. And we don't even have AIM yet like that. Like, you could have brought him, like you said yesterday. Like, he's literally like one of the most important characters in that AIM franchise, and it's like, we not even gonna have him going forward. I feel like that's bullshit. That's whack. That's
Plus, he's
whack.
one of the Mega Minds, one of the part of the group of the minds.
Yeah,
one of the evil geniuses.
Yeah. What's it? Is it? No, that's not the Masters of Evil, right? That's
The one that talks about the She-Hulk. She-Hulk, they brought him up.
Yeah. They wasted Modoc, man. at the end of this movie, I feel like he was wasted as a character, but I did enjoy him in the movie, though. I'm not gonna shit on it or nothing.
I don't want to watch it again. I'm definitely gonna watch it again. I definitely think I might go watch that one more time in theaters.
Yeah, if you got them, you got the memberships, use it.
Yep.
Word, right? Get them points up, bro. Get them points up.
AMC A-list.
Oh.
And that stupid seating price shit don't affect me because I'm an A-list member, so I'm lit.
They actually did that shit?
They doing that shit. Yeah. AMC bugging. Because people was like, yo, this ain't no fucking concert. I gotta pay more for the middle seats.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us for this spoiler edition of Untitled Live. Well, we're not live, but Untitled Podcast. Spoiler talk.
Yeah.
So, for everybody that's watching this right now, we appreciate y'all. For all of the members that have been straggling in and subscribing, we appreciate everybody. Continue to like, continue to share. And for these live sessions every Friday, 10 p.m., start trickling in. Start asking questions. Throw all of your comments and questions in there so we can jump in and respond to y'all. We waiting for y'all. We love interacting with y'all when we going on during the podcast. So once again, thank y'all. And we'll see y'all next week live Friday, 10 p.m. Will we be going over the next edition of The Last of Us and whatever other spoiler news and rumors come out this week. We'll be on top of it. All right. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for stopping by. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.